During his tenure as governor, he created 41,000 new jobs.
The number of jobs we lost has gone down, down, down. Or excuse me, the number of jobs we have has gone down, down, down. Why is that? Because people don't have confidence in George Bush. They'll put their money in the stock market, but they're not going to invest in factories and businesses, which is what creates jobs. Secondly, if you want social justice, you have to balance the budget. In our state, we did not have enormous tax cuts through the 90s. We had some, as Rick talked about, but most of the money we put away and we used it to pay off debt. And as a consequence, when the bad times came, we did not cut higher education, we did not cut K through 12, we did not cut people off health care, we did not cut money to the counties and the cities as your Republican legislature did here, and we balanced our budget. The very time at which the revenues of the state government turned down is exactly the time when people who depend on state government need the most help, and we're not just talking about poor people. We're talking about middle-class people who can't pay their kids' college tuition anymore because the president gave $3 trillion of our money to Ken Lay and the boys instead of sending it to the states where it's used to help the University of Iowa, the community college system, the least effective. Furthermore, any competent, qualified kindergarten teacher can tell you who the 5 kids are in his or her class that are most likely to end up in prison 15 or 20 years from now. Now, if we have some idea 15 or 20 years ahead of time who's going to use the most expensive and least effective social service intervention, my question is, why is it that we're not investing money now in small children and their families to stop that from happening? So in our state, we do. We visit every mother in the hospital, whether she's the richest or the poorest woman in the state. We ask them if they'd like a follow-up home visit. 91% say yes. When we visit those families, most of them do not need help. They're happy to see a friendly face from the community. Maybe to be told where the library card is and so forth and so on, where you can get a library card and all that kind of stuff. But the small number of families that are really in big trouble with substance abuse or mental illness or simply poverty, or a very young mom who's single, who doesn't have the financial or emotional resources, we support them by giving them child care, health care, job training skills, basic parenting skills and parenting classes, and programs to keep the dads interested in the kids if it's a single mom. 10 years later, child abuse in our state was down 43% and child sexual abuse was down 70%. Now, those are kids that have a better chance of going to college than they do going to prison. I was on the National Educational Goals Panel when I first became governor. The first goal was every child arrives at school ready to learn. The next 5 goals were all about having great science programs and math programs and everybody's going to read and all this stuff. I never got to those goals because I knew that if they didn't get to the first goal, they were never going to get to the other ones. I am tired of having the public school system in this country blamed for not graduating kids who can read and write when we send them kids who are so damaged at 5 years old that they can't recover, and we can do better than that, and we need to do better than that. We have got to stop thinking in this country in 2- and 4-year terms, which is the term of office, and we're talking about kids and generations. We need to talk about 20-year terms and 100-year terms for the environment, because what you do today is inexorably causes damage 100 years from now that you can't fix tomorrow. We have to start thinking about the future for our children and our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren that we may never meet, and it starts with kids between the ages of 0 and 3. Because by the time 3 years old comes around, if that child is damaged, the odds of your turning that child around are very long and very expensive and very difficult. We can save them so much.
Process in Iowa before?
Actually, I witnessed the last caucus that they had. So we came up, we have a friend who lives here in Lee County, and he works with my husband, who's a government teacher. So we came up and sat through the whole process. And
what makes you want to get involved in it?
Well, actually my husband, he was born and bred to be a Democrat and has always been involved in politics and teaches government and U.S. history. So he and his friend do all of this, and I tag along to see what I can learn.
Is there anything in particular that makes you like Howard Dean, or anything that stood out in his speech tonight that you liked? Since you got your sticker. I don't want to assume
Yes.
too much, but you know.
I was actually attacked with the sticker, but
Oh, were you? If there's another candidate, tell us, why you support that candidate, or
well, it seems like Dean is trying to get out and meet people a lot, and has been a very big presence in Iowa. Also, now of course, because he is an elected official, how much of what he says actually holds true and what doesn't, of course, is up to speculation. But just the idea that he's keeping in mind that jobs are a really big thing in this area, and it's something that people are becoming unemployed all the time. I don't know if Kansas is the same way. I'm not around there very often. But just not trying to tell everybody that you can balance the budget and keep people employed and give huge tax cuts, and he hasn't contradicted himself a whole lot.
right. Are there any other candidates you're leaning towards?
Well, I think I'm from the St. Louis area, so I'm minutely obligated to say go Gephardt, but that's about as far as that goes.
Yeah, sort of geographical loyalty is. Is there anything else you like about it?
About whom?
Gephardt.
The only thing I'm going to think may count either for or against him is that he has recognition. People recognize his name, and sometimes that means more than anything else.
Do you see that kind of being a problem for